entitled "The Dictator's Dream: Controlling Who Gets to Vote." And this was based on a comment that Donald Trump made yesterday. You know, with the echo of Vladimir Putin's whisper still in his ear, in front of President Zelensky and 7 other European leaders, including the Chancellor of Germany and the Prime Minister of Great Britain, both of which have widespread mail-in voting. Donald Trump made the assertion that mail-in voting corrupts democracies and that you can't have a democracy if you have mail-in voting. He went on and on about it. I'll spare you the exact quote. Oh, and he also said that he thinks that we're the only country in the world that allows it, as he's sitting next to the Prime Minister of England, or of the United Kingdom, and the Chancellor of Germany, who both not just allow mail-in voting, but encourage it. This isn't just a partisan maneuver. This is an open assault on our Constitution. The Constitution explicitly says, and let me back up a little bit. And Donald Trump also said that he's preparing an executive order to end mail-in voting. Now, the Constitution clearly says that the states administer elections, and that administration of the elections can only be changed by Congress. The president does not appear anywhere in that. It's in Article 1, Section, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Article 1, Section 4, Clause 1. The times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof, but the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations. So here you have it. The president has no say in whether you can have mail-in voting or not. But he's asserting that. He's saying that, we've got to have a mail-in voting if we're going to have a democracy and all this kind of nonsense. Here we have a president declaring that he and he alone can choose how we're going to vote. And, it's pretty amazing. I mean, there's a bunch of reasons why Republicans hate mail-in voting. And, most people think of how, during the 2020 election, Donald Trump was discouraging mail-in voting. Democrats ended up doing a lot of it. Republicans didn't even bother going to the polls, and that's largely one of the reasons why Trump lost the election, is he convinced his own voters not to show up to vote, or at least not to mail in their votes. Hey, if you snore now, you're at a heightened risk of requiring a CPAP machine later. So now is the time to stop snoring. And one of the fastest, smartest, easiest ways to stop snoring is Zyppah. Zyppah is the comfortable doctor-designed mouthpiece that can stop snoring as fast as the first night. Don't be fooled by imitators. Zyppah was proven in a 600-patient clinical trial. And with over 500,000 units sold, Zyppah is the stop snoring device that I trust. No more being nudged awake for snoring. No more sleeping in separate rooms. No more feeling tired and foggy all day due to lack of sleep. Look, this may be your last best chance to solve your snoring problem now, or face having to wear a CPAP mask later. Zyppah, that's Happy Z spelled backwards. I want you to try it with my special discount. Get 20% off and free shipping. Visit zyppah.com and use the promo code SNORE. Again, that's promo code SNORE at zyppah.com. But there's other really good reasons. Number one, people who are paid by the hour are far more likely to vote if you have mail-in voting, because you can fill out the ballot at your kitchen table after dinner, rather than having to take a couple hours off work. So, number one, mail-in voting increases voter participation. We've had mail-in voting for over 20 years here in Oregon, exclusively. We don't have polling places. And we have one of the highest voter response rates in the country, and always have. There are 5 states with mail-in voting. The only one that's a Republican state is Utah. And those 5 states are among the 5 highest response states. Second, mail-in voting makes voters better informed and less vulnerable to soundbite TV ads. Because, when you're sitting there at the kitchen table with your laptop doing your research on who you're going to vote for, you can look up things. You can look up ballot initiatives. You can look up judges. You can look up state representatives and state senators. Those are elections that we all vote in, but most of us pay so little attention to. We have no idea who these people are. Well, if you're doing mail-in voting, you have an opportunity to do your research in real time while you're voting. You can't do that in a voting booth. So you get more well-informed voters. Again, Republicans don't like well-informed voters because they rely heavily on often dishonest advertisements, TV advertisements in particular, to swing voters. Third, mail-in ballots, because they arrive in the mail weeks before the election, give you an early indicator if you've been purged from the voting rolls. Republicans don't want you to know about that until you show up and get turned away. And fourth, mail-in ballots end the old Republican trick of making people, particularly largely Democratic voters, stand in line for a long time. They do this, of course, by under-resourcing, not enough machines, not enough helpers, not enough polling places in minority neighborhoods, so that Hispanics have to wait 150 times longer than white people, and blacks have to wait 200% longer. I said times, it's 200%. It's twice as long as white people. Although in some places, I mean, we saw down in Georgia in black neighborhoods, when Brian Kemp was Secretary of State, him seeing to it that black people were having to wait 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours in line to vote. So, I mean, this is an old Republican trick, and mail-in voting puts an end to it. You don't have to stand in line to drop your ballot into your mailbox. So Trump, knowing all this, just couldn't help himself. He had to go. He says, if you don't have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's exactly what he said. So, I mean, he's ignoring the law, he's ignoring the Constitution, and now he's saying that he's going to seize control of our elections. I'm looking at a variety of ways that Donald Trump thinks he's going to rig the 2026 and 2028 elections. You've got this, messing with mail-in voting. You've got major voting purges that are going on in red states all across the country. You've got the gerrymandering that's going on down in Texas. You've got the vigilante groups that are showing up at polling places to discourage people from voting, particularly people of color. You've got the election judges, the Republican volunteer election judges, who, when mail-in ballots are counted, challenge signatures in heavily Democratic communities. That led to over 2 million ballots getting thrown out last time around. In fact, if there is an argument against mail-in voting, that's it. And that is that, Republicans very frequently will make it so that your mail-in ballot doesn't count. But this is outrageous. This is an early indicator. There should be a warning to all of us that Trump and the Republicans intend to do everything they possibly can to rig the elections that are coming up next year, because those elections are going to go very poorly for them. First of all, typically midterm elections go against the party in power. But secondly, what Trump is doing from tariffs to Ukraine to just, the military in our streets, all of this stuff is insanely unpopular. ICE with no IDs.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Unless they can figure out how to rig this election, they're going to lose power.